said, actually, it is quite right to say that the most of the protests are happening in the urban and semi-urban areas, because I think the economic aspect of the crisis has severely hit the middle classes. It's the urban middle class, both the lower and upper, and also the semi-urban middle classes actually, and therefore there's a natural tendency that the classes who are basically, directly attacked by these policies are coming onto streets, and some of these classes actually have never been on the streets in the past. And actually, there's another interesting thing, an observation. This is exactly the class that actually overwhelmingly voted for Gotabaya to come into power, who had been the kind of strong support base of the Rajapakshas throughout, and who have been always maintaining, becoming the kind of bedrock of Sinhala Buddhist nationalism. And this is the class that has been directly attacked now, affected now. So therefore, actually, these people, the reason that they don't have these progressive slogans is mainly because they actually come from a non-progressive background. They're coming from a nationalist, a reactionary background. And somehow, because of the situation, they have come in towards with the government. And therefore, the class character, the working class, for example, there had been several attempts, to launch general strikes. And the most recent one was actually like a couple of weeks ago, before Ranil Wickremesinghe became the prime minister. There was an attempt to call for a general strike, which would have been quite effective, because when the trade union movement take the lead, it will get more political character, actually, a progressive political character. But what happened was the JVP didn't want to go ahead with this trade union action, the general strike. So what they did was actually they said on the day the trade unions announced that we are going to launch a strike, the government declared curfew. So whether there was a strike or not, people couldn't come anyway. So no one was clear whether we actually launched the strike or whether we didn't launch the strike because of the curfew. So this wasn't clear. And when the curfew ended, JVP said that we are going to stop the general strike, because considering the difficulties faced by the people, and especially the operations in the harbour is quite crucial, and therefore Colombo harbour, smooth functioning of the Colombo harbour is necessary to come out of this crisis, and therefore we are calling off the strike, which actually gave more breathing space to the government. And as a result of it, more concrete action was actually not taken, which should have been taken through the trade union action, collective action. And so therefore, the class character of the ongoing protest is mostly middle class, I would say. It's mostly urban and semi-urban middle classes. And in the villages, there's an anti-government feeling because the cost of living is extremely high. And it changes every hour, not every day, every week, but it's every hour almost. It's changing. So the people who are merely surviving with who's used to survive with 2 meals a day, they are being pushed to survive with 1 meal a day. So therefore, there's anger, but there's no organized action from the villagers yet. I think we haven't seen, people who are strongly anti-government, they might come to the cities, the nearest towns, and join the protest. But generally, the rural areas, the most remote areas, still no strong anti-government actions have been taken, not because they support the government, not because of that, but there's no leadership to take that action actually. And I think social media, internet, and all these things quite not that common in those areas. So therefore, that has a great effect on the way people are going to react. That is one thing. And